I've noticed something interesting among my clients. About half are concerned about long-term care, and the other half are not concerned. And it has nothing to do with their wealth. These two groups of people have very similar amounts of wealth. It has to do with whether they've had someone in their family that needed long-term care, so they've seen the cost, they've seen the decisions, or they haven't had anyone in their family, and they think it's not going to hit their family. And these two different groups of people, because of those perspectives, then it colors the decisions that they make and the way that they think about possibly needing long-term care in their own lifetime. Another thing that I've noticed is that we all tend to try and, I say, line up the dominoes. How are things going to happen? Well, when it comes to long-term care, people will often assume this is going to happen first or second or third. Maybe nothing's going to happen, or I won't need long-term care, but my spouse might, or I will and my spouse won't. I'm going to die first or second. My spouse will die first or second. All of these assumptions go into thinking about what is the solution that we need. And if the dominoes don't end up lining up exactly like the person is thinking about in their own mind, then the solution may not really fit. So it's important when you're thinking about what is our future potential healthcare costs and how can we pay for it. Throw out what has happened in your family, how you think things should happen, what order things should happen in. Throw that out and really think about a couple of different scenarios. One is, what if one spouse, doesn't matter which one, needs long-term care, and then the other spouse is going to live for a long time after that? That creates a set of planning needs to make sure that the surviving spouse is really secure all the way to the end of their lifetime. So that dictates then a little bit of how much money needs to be left. Are they going to stay living in the house? All of these things that you would want that surviving spouse to be able to have or do in order to be secure to the end of their lifetime. The other situation would be, what if one spouse passes away and then the surviving spouse, they're by themselves, they're widowed or a widower, and now they need long-term care? Creates a different set of issues, because now who's going to help this surviving spouse make all of these decisions? Are kids close? Are they not close? Do you even have kids? And what decisions will need to be made, and what decisions can family help make? There may need to be a higher level of care for that surviving spouse if the surviving spouse is on their own, as opposed to there being another spouse with them. These are two different situations. It really doesn't matter who's first, who's second. What matters is what might be the combination of events that could happen, and if that does happen, how do we make sure we protect both spouses? Make sure the one that needs care gets the care they need. Make sure the spouse that is healthy always has what they need to maintain a strong and healthy retirement all the way to the end. Now, it's a good idea to model these things out. Think about how you would cover the cost of anything, whether that's long-term care insurance or retirement assets or properties that you own or your home equity. In the different scenarios, which you would want to use and which you wouldn't want to use could be very, very, very different, as well as what's the tax cost of using these different assets at different points in time. If you have just one spouse or both spouses, you're filing as a single filer, filing married, filing jointly. A lot of things that you could work through in your plan to know how they might impact you. That'll help you know, do you have the gaps covered? And what is the plan that you would put in place if you ever needed long-term care? And hopefully you never do. And once you've done that, the very best encouragement I can give you is do the things to stay as healthy and strong as possible. do the exercises and the brain exercises to keep your mind and your body strong and healthy so that you hopefully never do need long-term care. You'll always be able to get up out of a chair. You'll always be able to, take care of yourself. That's what we want. And hopefully you'll never need any of the long-term care, but you'll have a plan if you do.